Hey, fourth grade mathematicians. Today we are going to be looking at the UPSC strategy to solve word problems. So we'll have a couple of those to do today, but really I wanted to make sure that we understand what problems are asking us to do and how we can solve them using multiplication. And to do that, we're going to look at UPSC, but we're also going to use what I call numberless word problem strategy, where we read the word problem without the numbers, think about it, and then we remove the blanks and you can see the numbers and solve. Sometimes I think you guys get caught up on the numbers and you start wanting to calculate right away. You don't really think about the multiple steps you need to do to solve a problem. So for UPSC, just remembering the first step is understand, what am I looking for? What do I know? So you're bracketing the question, you're reading the problem, and then you're circling important numbers and underlining important labels. The next step is to plan, where you're going to draw a strategy, use an operation like addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division, or model with mathematics. The second problem, I'm sorry, the third step, not the second step, the third step is solve. You're going to show your work and label your answers. If you look at there, if this was a problem that said you had 3 crayons and 5 more, you'd have 8 total crayons. So you would put that label of 8 crayons. And the last step would be to check and making sure that your answer is reasonable. There's a couple things that we need to practice to do that check step, like making ballpark estimates. So let's look at our word problem. A grocery store orders blank bags of onions and blank bags of potatoes. The onions cost blank per bag and the potatoes cost blank per bag. How much is spent on onions and potatoes? So let's reread that problem again, this time bracketing the question. A grocery store orders blank bags of onions and blank bags of potatoes. The onions cost blank per bag and the potatoes cost blank per bag. How much is spent on onions and potatoes? So that's the question. They want to know how much is spent on onions and potatoes. So onions plus potatoes, I think, would make sense, right? Because we're saying both of them. So now I think we need to consider how much do onions cost, how much potatoes cost. So looking at this, they give me a lot of numbers. They give me how many bags we have and how much this cost per bag. And remember, we see that per, we're thinking again, this is one of those unit rate questions. So we have to think of multiplication. Because if I had 5 bags of candy and each bag of candy cost $3, we would be adding 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, or 3 times 5. So let's look first at how many bags we have. So we have 47 onions and 162 potatoes. So I'm going to say we have 47 bags of onions and potatoes 162. That's a lot of potatoes. So how many times am I going to be adding 47 and 62 to 47 and 62? Or multiplying, since that's repeated addition. So it's $2 per bag and $3 per bag. So we would be adding actually 47 times to itself. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, 47 times. And $2, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, 162 times to figure out our total cost for both of those. To make that a quicker step, let's look at just setting it up as a multiplication problem. So we know 47, the onions cost $2 per bag. So that's going to be times $2 per bag. And then this one would be times $3 per bag. So 47 times 2, 162 times 3. So looking at UPSC right here, going back and reflecting on what we've done, we haven't even solved any computation yet. We have just we're looking for the question, we're understanding the numbers and the labels, and we've created our plan now. Now's the part where we solve. You could do all of this, and if you don't really think carefully through this and spend a lot of time to solve that word problem, you could get the word problem incorrect. So you want to make sure that you really think about. I feel that U and P are essential steps into problem solving, the understanding and planning. And if you look, we didn't even really underline the labels. I think we should go back. We wrote the labels, but we should underline those labels. So let's solve now. So I'm going to solve that in green. I'm going to use traditional algorithm. 2 times 7 is 14. Carry my 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. We need to know what this is. Is this 94 bags or $94? We have 47 bags at $2 a bag, and they wanted to know how much is spent, so that would be $94. So put a label on that. And now let's look at 162 times 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry my 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 486, again, dollars. Terrible dollar sign there. I must be done now. I've figured out my 2 problems, right? Wrong. Remember, we looked back at the very beginning before we looked at numbers and we said onions and potatoes. Onions and potatoes. So I need to add 486 plus 94. I'm going to do that on the next one. 486 plus 94. 6 plus 4 is 10. 9 plus 9 is 18. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. $980. So that is solved. We've done that. We've done understand and plan. I talked about some strategies for checking our answers. So let's think about this number, $980. Would it make sense that our number went up from the value that we had of 94 and 46? Yes, because we added it, right? Let's use some rounding though to check how close that number would be to an estimation, so we can make sure we didn't make a computation error. So yes, we've just looked at did the number go up like multiplication. If it went down, then we know we did our math wrong. It's not smaller than these numbers, so we didn't subtract by accident. So let's estimate. So 47, I'm going to round. Remember, that's close to 50, so that would be 50. And those are at $2 a bag, so 50 times 2. And then I'm going to look at 162. 162, I would say, is close to 150. And we could even say it's close to 200. We'll say 200, make it nice and easy. 200 times 3. So these are my estimations. This is not going to give me the exact answer. 50 times 2 we know is $100. 200 times 3, 200, 400, 600. $600. 600 plus 100 is $700. So what did I do wrong here? How did I get 980? Because I didn't add, I multiplied. Did you see that mistake I made? I multiplied 4 times 4. No, 18, 5. Because that's supposed to be a 5. That's where I made my mistake. See, I even make mistakes. Going back, so my number should be close to 600. 6 plus 4 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 8 is 9, plus 9 is 18. Carry the 1. If you don't write your numbers carefully, 1 plus 1 is 5, $580. I thought it was $980. That's because I wrote my 5 very sloppy, 10 to precision. So that was my actual answer. And if you look what I just did there, my estimation told me that this should be close to $700 when we rounded. That's pretty close to $700. So I'm in the right area. That kind of helps signal to me that I made a mistake. And that's why when we're checking our answer to make sure it's reasonable, it's important to think about your actual answer matching the question and do the numbers make sense? And go through your work and check to see if you made any mistakes. That's why it's always important to show your work as well. All right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. I can't wait to watch you guys do some UPSC. I want you today to be very intentional of underlining your numbers, bracketing your questions, and going through this process.